backstory about the selection of not just this band, but this particular song that I'm listening to tonight. But I'm going to save that for the end because I want to just dive right into listening. So keep your ears open towards the end and I'll tell you how this all came about. And because of that backstory, I already know the name of the band and the name of the song. It is going to be Coldplay's Viva La Vida. Don't forget, you can always check out my Ko-fi and Patreon. There are exclusive things there that I think you will enjoy. Even Queen's We Are the Champions, which copyright troubles, we couldn't put on YouTube. But it's free and open to the public on my Patreon page. So even if you don't want to sign up for a membership donation, you can watch it there. So let's see what I have to find out about this band. Coldplay are a British rock band formed in London in 1997. A newer band. With over 100 million albums sold worldwide, Coldplay are among the best-selling music acts of all time. In 2014, Fuse ranked them as the 6th most awarded group in history, which includes having the most Brit Award wins by a band. They currently own 3 of the 50 highest-selling albums in the United Kingdom. In 2022, Forbes hailed the group as the standard for alternative music. Time ranked them among the most impactful climate action leaders in the world during the following year, 2023. Well, that was just last year. Coldplay have explored many musical styles throughout their career, with their sound being considered alternative rock, alternative pop, pop rock, post-Britpop, soft rock, and pop. Their 4th album, Viva La Vida, or Death and All His Friends, from 2008, won Best Rock Album and was the best-selling album of 2008, topping the charts in over 30 countries. Viva La Vida was also nominated for Album of the Year, while its title track became the first single by a British group to simultaneously reach #1 in the United Kingdom and the United States in the 21st century. The song's Spanish title, Viva La Vida, is taken from a painting by 20th century Mexican artist Frida Kahlo. Oh, that's interesting. In Spanish, viva is an expression used to acclaim someone or something. So, long live life is an accurate translation, and the painting reflects the artistic irony of acclaiming life while suffering physically. I have an idea. Maybe I should see if Vlad can put an image of that painting in the intro to this video so you can see what painting inspired it. When asked about the album's title, referring to Frida Kahlo's strength enduring polio, a broken spine, and a decade of chronic pain, lead singer Chris Martin said, "She went through a lot of pain, of course. And then she started a big painting in her house that said, Viva La Vida. I just loved the boldness of it." Yeah, what an inspiration. What a bold, life-embracing approach to your artwork. Well, let's see how this music sounds. This has a real energetic forward-moving pulse to it. And I'm noticing that the harmonic shape of it is pretty repetitive. It's almost as if the chords itself are being used as a sort of riff. Bum, 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 bum. There are about 4 chords being used, and well, I'm looking at the score here and I see that the chords identified are not the chords written. That's okay, because we can figure it out anyway. Basically, we have the 1 chord, which is, depending on what key you're in, it could be anything. Let's put it in the key of G sharp, A flat, which, well, this is written in G sharp. That's kind of a weird key. A flat is easier to think about. Either one is the same pitch. Or we could put it in the key of G, which is what these chord identifying letters are. But it doesn't matter. Okay, so we have the 1 chord, we have the 4 chord, we have the 5 chord. Let's go ahead and put it in the key of A flat. So this 1 chord would be A flat. The 5 chord would be E flat. The 4 chord would be D flat. And then we have this minor chord, which is going to be, I believe, C minor if we put it in this, because it's the minor 3. No, hold on. Because we're in the key of G here. That's the minor 6. So we have the minor 6, which in the key of A flat minor is F minor. And the order they're playing in this song that I'm hearing over and over, bum, 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 is 4, 5, 1, and then 6. 4, 5, 1, 6. And that is happening over and over. Bum, 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 bum. And it gives it this kind of repetitive, driving, almost harmonic riff, as I said. Well, let me finish listening, or listen a bit further, and then maybe I'll even try it on the harp, because it could actually fit in with the harp here. 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1. Okay, we dropped out the 6th there a little bit. I kind of like this. So, I'm also listening to the instrumental mix. I notice a lot of strings. There's a voice. It doesn't have a lot of heavy. Well, I guess that doesn't surprise me, since the genres that I read in the introduction were more pop and mixed styles, not necessarily hard rock. So it doesn't have that heavy feel to it. But it certainly is full of this sort of bundle of energy. A bit like Vivaldi. I guess I would class this as Vivaldi. Modern Vivaldi. Which, you know, we have this joke as musicians that Vivaldi was the pop musician of the Baroque era. He turned out so many concerti and pieces of music. And you hear one, in some ways, if you listen to 100 of them after you listen to one, you feel like, well, I heard one, I've heard them all. Of course, they all have differences, but he's fairly straightforward in his harmonic writing, But he has this energy and this... I was just listening this morning with Liesel to some Vivaldi concerti. And she loves it because she can bounce along and just feel the energy and kind of ride the energy waves. This is kind of like that. And then this instrumental, I know it's guitar here, but it almost has that harpsichordy sound to it, which is another thing that kind of makes me look back to Vivaldi and think, okay, they might have gotten along together, Coldplay and Vivaldi. That could be an interesting mix.
To let me in, shattered windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I'd become. Revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver plate, just a puppet on a loom.
The more I think about Vivaldi with this, the more I think it's a very apt comparison. Even the way the bass is treated. Vivaldi liked to have a good pulsing bass, and he liked it to be rather simple, just on a note or a few, just bum 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 bum, or bum 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 bum, which is basically what's happening here. And it's kind of fun to play with the idea. What if a Baroque ensemble tried to play this? I think they would do really good with it. I'm also thinking, what if this band, Coldplay, tried to play some Vivaldi? I wonder if they have. But it would come out rather stylistically good, I would say. I just remembered I'm supposed to be paying attention to the lyrics too. And, well, I'm going to take a minute to look through them here because this is all about embracing life in spite of incredible difficulties and suffering. And it's appropriate for the music to have this very upbeat, lively, almost celebratory quality to it. Full of energy, just taking in all that life has, whatever it is, just let's embrace it and run with it.
Never run this world, but that was when I ruled the world.
This line that I know St. Peter won't call my name. After going through all of this talk about, basically, I've fallen very low. I used to be on top of the world. I used to be in charge. I used to call the shots. I used to do all of this. And now I'm the one sleeping the streets. I'm the one who is basically at the bottom and dependent on other people to help me and to give me my daily needs. But I guess this line sums it up. I know St. Peter won't call my name. That's the moment in which Coldplay is taking this artistic view of the painting that Frida Kahlo painted, where it's all about just embracing and taking the life that comes, and knowing that I'm not going to sit down and die. I'm not just going to sit here and give up. I still have some fight in me. I still have some love of life in me. And because of that, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die psychologically, physically, emotionally. I might be, well, as Frida Kahlo went through, I might be a physical disaster. But I can still live and truly live. And so that seems to be the main message of the song. And this music is very vibrant and I guess we could say life affirming, life embracing. It's interesting to see how Coldplay has taken this artistic, visual art expression and translated it into a musical expression. But I think they've been quite faithful to the overall message of let's embrace what we have. They've done it simply, with a sort of simple joyfulness, a simple happiness. It's not a piece of music that really is very complex and digs deep into emotional, psychological, philosophical ideas. No, it's just about let's embrace the life that we have. And I think they do that quite well.
But that was when I ruled the world.
A little bit of something and some chorus there. Symphonic chorus climax. But that was when I ruled the world. Interesting ending. It actually closes with a chorus, not even a chorus, just a vocal ensemble harmonizing a cappella. Funny how that also throws me back to Vivaldi and that era where the church music was primarily a cappella, at least a lot of it. And this has almost that sort of church music quality. After all of this vibrant, happy, cheery energy, then it ends with this dee-da-dum, and you hear the voices as if they're getting ready to sing some anthem or something like that. Interesting piece of music, the way it gathers all of this and presents it in a very simple, attractive manner. Now let's go see how this little harmonic riff that I noticed and talked about a bit actually sounds on the harp, because I think that it would work pretty well. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. well, wouldn't you say? I'll do it several times. Let's see. I could play along with it. It's pretty easy. Well, that brings me to my backstory of why this piece, this band, now, today. Well, the story is, it's the beginning of the year, and my teaching semester is just getting up and rolling forwards, and one of the things that I like to do at the beginning of every new year is sit down with each of my students. It's the middle of the academic year. They're in the middle of all their school stuff and everything, and we have our academic goals for the music, piano, harp, whatever, already set for the academic year. But the new year is a nice place to pause, take stock, look at how we're meeting our goals, but also think, what really am I studying this music for? Why am I taking music lessons? And am I really working towards the things that inspired me to take up music in the first place? Because it's easy to get bogged down in all the technicalities and academic stuff that has to go along with mastering an instrument. So I sit down with my students and I say, all right, it's the new year. If you had a dream of a piece of music, if you dreamed of learning a piece of music, what would it be? What would you dream of achieving in this new year on your instrument? Is it a piece of music? Is it a skill? Is it an experience? Well, one of my students, who I guess it kind of surprised me when he said this, because he usually sticks pretty consistently with classical-based music ambitions. But this time, he said, I'd like to learn Viva La Vida. And I said, that's one I don't know. Let's look it up. He said it's by Coldplay. I said, oh, I've heard the name. I guess I've read it on my YouTube channel a bit. So it must be a rock band. He said, yeah, it is. I said, okay. Well then, the truth is, and I'm always very open with my students, that my expertise is in classical music, and I don't pretend to be an expert in other styles. However, I do tell them, if you bring in another style that you're just eager to learn, I'll help you in any way I can. And I'll help you find somebody to kind of go over the final polishing to make sure it's really appropriately styled. So I told him, I said, sure, let's find a piano version of this, and I'll have it ready for your next lesson. Well, his next lesson is in just a few days. And so I thought, well, since I've never heard this, of course, I have to sit down and study it because I'm going to be teaching it. I have to know it inside and out. I have to know the origins of it, all of that stuff. So this is my first step in preparing for his next lesson. So anyway, that's the backstory, and that is why I am sitting here tonight with Viva La Vida from Coldplay. Maybe you'd like to try this out yourself. You have the chords. We figured those out. Can't hurt to try to play along. I'll see you soon.